Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez. Loaded show, double playoff action with NBA and NHL. Then we got a 7-game MLB slate. We already had a daytime diamond slate, and there's golf up in the lobby for tomorrow. Over 200K in total prizes on the day. Over 150K left to draft for just today. So let's just get after it, man. We'll talk a little bit about what took place last night there across multiple sports, but I think we just got to dive right in here, Nez.
Just got to dive in. Like you said, man. Man, one of the worst runouts I can remember. Last night's slate.
With all the Q tags sitting and then Ty Jerome falling flat on his face.
Yeah. I mean, could have had a crystal ball to the final injury report and probably would have lost even more money than I did lose.
Yeah.
So love it, man. It's the game we play. That's why you get back, open that back up, and get back in the arena. Just unbelievable. 1 for 14, or maybe it was even worse than that. 1 for 14. Yeah. I mean, what else is what's there left to say?
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff right, which was nice. But behind the paywall there, we talked about how they could use Okoro for defense and how Sam Wade would probably, or Dean Wade would probably start and that sort of thing. So that was cool, but it didn't end up mattering. And then obviously the Steph injury too, going to miss multiple games here. Man, dude, can we just talk like macro NBA for a hot second here? Why are teams like I watch a lot of basketball, right? Like I watch a lot of basketball during the regular season for this show, sitting here quad boxing. Why are teams and good teams having such difficult times closing these games out? You know, like Cavs were up 14 going into the fourth there or whatever. They were up 7 with like 50 some odd seconds left. Inadvertent turnover on the inbound play. I know their best of the best weren't there, but we saw it the other night with the OKC fouling situation. Like, why are these teams having such a tough time closing out these games in the postseason?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, last night it was just that Donovan Mitchell was the entire offense for Cleveland, and when it came down to crunch time, you can't sit there and hold the ball. You got to try to score and keep your lead somewhat safe, and they couldn't do that. And then everything that needed to go right for the Pacers did go right. Several like 5-point swings where like should have been a layup, turnover ends up in a 3 for the Pacers. Like off said turnover. Just a really bad way to close out, but that's going to happen whenever you're missing 2 of your best players or 2 of your starters.
Yeah, it's true, man. I don't know. It's just like this weird little trend that I've been noticing. It's like all these home teams unable to close out in spots where, their win probability looks so strong.
That was one of the worst, obviously, with the Cavs being up as big as they were. But, hard not to just look directly at Ty Jerome and be like, it's your fault. It's your fault. I mean, not only did he miss shots, man, I mean, he was just abysmal with the rock too. I mean, just so many turnovers or near turnovers, just killing possession after possession with his decision making. The moment was just way too big for Ty Jerome. He just so much better coming off the bench, doing his thing with the second unit. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's really like, what else can you say other than the lights were just way too bright for old Ty Jerome?
Yeah, it was something we talked about behind the paywall there, that it was like non-zero chance that maybe they should start Okoro and start him for defense and then still use Ty Jerome in the same role instead of just like inserting him into the starting lineup there. I mean, I'm not sure that would have changed in any regard how he played, but tough night. Tough night for the kid there. I got to address the elephant in the room there. Hallie had one nice play. He had one nice play. He had one nice play, but you got to box out the shooter. These are fundamentals, Nez. You got to box out the shooter on a free throw like that. But yes, presence of mind from Hallie to get the rebound, come back out, ice the 3, win the game. I'm sad, but
It's okay, John. Your agenda lives to fight another day.
It does. It does. I think we should start with last night's winners here, dude. Community absolutely on one and all over the top of the leaderboard. You want to talk about a little bit of good karma there, Nez. A guy comes through, drops off 10 subs in yesterday's show, and then goes on to win the hoops slate for 10 dimes. I don't know if that's causation, correlation. I'm not smart enough to put that A plus B together, but some people are saying, Nez, that if you drop off some subs at the Badge Bros door, good things happen to you that night.
I mean, he's living proof. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, it's right there in front of us. The guy wins 10K after giving us Membies. I mean, it is what it is, man. What a week. What a week for what a year for our good buddy Car Park. Good lord.
Yeah, I've been taken over in these streets, man. Mount Rushmore. We're going to amend the list this summer at some point in time. The official list actually hasn't been public facing for like a year now. We did a show on it last year and then never published the list. We're going to have to go deep dive as we've grown, as the site's grown. We're going to have to go do a big list overhaul in the middle of the summer here, Nez, kind of when the quieter days roll around after the postseason for NBA and NHL. And methinks this guy's name is vaulting from irrelevancy and unknown last year to being on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, hard to say otherwise. Truly, just like I said, man, crazy year for our guy, but he deserves it. He deserves it. He treats us well. He's strong member of the community. I'm glad it's him. It could be worse. It could be way worse.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, this lineup just in general, obviously the Buddy stuff aged well once Steph was injured, that sort of deal. The Buddy and Jimmy Butler dynamic right now is so fun. It's so hilarious. The two of them clowning each other in pressers and that sort of stuff. But Max Strus, man, we kind of were poo-pooing on Ty Jerome there. I thought Max Strus played a hell of a basketball game last night. I watched that one start to finish. I did not watch I was jumping back and forth between the hockey and stuff, but I watched that one start to finish and then did not really watch much of the West Coast one because I can't stand watching Draymond. But I thought Max Strus played some grown-ass man basketball last night.
He did. He was a big part of them, keeping this game close and almost winning this game. I like Strus, man. I like Strus. I had a lot of Max Strus last night. So we'll take that.
Yeah. I only got 30 entries in there, and most of them came after the show. I did 5 before, and I did ape in heavy on like the Strus, Mitchell, Sam Morrell, like that sort of stuff, and did play the angle of everybody else was going to be out. And I had some really nice lineups going into the evening there, and then Gobert / Pods didn't really hold up their end of the bargain for me there, but only had 30 entries. I think I will have more this evening because I've already got 40 some odd in there. I want to talk about the baseball real quick before we do breakdown of the NBA. Why am I in the live tab? I need the results tab. Some of the stuff we talked about on the show aged really well last night with baseball. I'm quite proud of that. Did not get to Giants myself. Giants aged greatly there with the what was like a 5-5 game, or it was a 5-3 game going into the bottom of the ninth. Then it was a 5-5. And then all of a sudden 11 runs, or 14 runs for the Giants kind of flipped a bit of the slate, but you didn't even need them. You didn't even need them on the main there because you needed Phillies. And that was a team that we talked about a lot behind the paywall there yesterday. We talked about Wheeler as SP 1.5. And then we talked about Julio being in a great spot plus Phillies. So shout out to Seedmeister here, second win this week, and shout out to Shilly here. Shilly's been killing it this year in baseball. A Phillies thing with a Brent Rooker in here. We talked about Brent Rooker being a huge pick to click for us yesterday. Needed a little more out of the Atlanta stuff, which was unfortunate. AD's back up there again. Brad's up here. Now Ricky, our guy, was leading for a while there with that aforementioned giant stack there. Yeah, thoughts on the baseball last night, Nez?
Yeah, it was a crazy one, very high scoring. I had a couple Giants builds. Those were literally just a couple. My best scoring lineups because the Atlanta stuff just completely fell flat, but just going to continue to chase that. Only one Nick Castellanos team, and shout out Mike Bradley, by the way, my good buddy Mike Bradley. Mike Bradley got a pack of cards, and in that pack of cards was a jumbo card, and he said it just doesn't make sense for me to have this. What's your address? So I reluctantly gave it to him. And check this out, man. Check this out. It gave me a jumbo, big as my fucking head.
Wow.
Paul Skeens.
Yeah, let me give you the floor here for a second. I gotta see this one here. Let's get that thing up there.
Look at this thing.
That's cool. I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah, me neither. It's a hilarious thing for Tops to dedicate to. But yeah, look at this. Gigantic Beautiful. Paul Skeens card. And it's mine. Thanks to good guy Mike Bradley, who people forget once won $15,000 on an NBA slate.
Woo! Woo! People forget, but not us, baby. Not
us. We show props.
Dude, celebrating members of the community here. Love that. Thank you so much. Head for scale. That's good, Mike. That's good.
That's
box
commonly used.
Topper. That's what it's called. So you buy a box of cards and then lift the lid, and then sometimes there's a big ass one underneath. That checks out, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess so. Huh. I've never bought one of these big ass cards before, so I'm uncertain, but it's kind of fun. I think I want more.
I was all about the cards when I was a kid and stuff like that, but I haven't dabbled in a long time. Like my dad and my uncle, just for fun, would do like some card shows, like collectible card shows, and it'd be like a gym, and then everybody sets up their own little stand with their own little cards, and then people would trade and stuff like that. I remember them doing that, a handful of times when we were kids, just as a collector's thing. But
I still like buying cards, like ripping packs and whatnot is still a lot of fun. At the end of the day, I'm like totally just like gambling for like a big fancy card, not a literal big card, but just like a huge, value card is really end of the day what I'm hoping for when I get these. So I'm like not trying to buy them as much as I do, because like they're just sitting in boxes now, but it is fun to rip packs.
Yeah, like during COVID, I went to my parents' house and grabbed like all my old stuff to like just have something to do. And I've showed on here before that I got like a really sweet Pokemon card collection with like in the cases and stuff that I need to get graded. But I didn't have anything that was cool, sports related, really. Like nothing that was like a big standout. A lot of those McDonald's hockey cards, that was a big rage in Canada when we were kids. You'd buy like a Happy Meal and you'd get a pack of cards kind of thing. And we'd all try and collect the McDonald's like set of cards.
I love the McDonald's collectibles, just anything.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Peak nostalgia.
Yeah. Nick rolling through to share his displeasure that mirrors that of yours, Nez, a member for 21 months. That's actually kind of fucking crazy that we've even had memberships for 21 months, let alone had a member. We've had multiple members for 21 months here. Appreciate you, Nick. But congrats to all the Ty Jerome faders. Should have seen the vision. I will say, Nick in the chat yesterday did say 50 real life basketball points incoming for Spida.
Yeah, I think I said something similar with you and Pete. Like, dude was going to score a ton of points. And in fact, I did a Spida slider for 47.5 points. 9x.
Ladder it up, baby. Ladder it up.
Green. I'll pair that with Anthony Edwards at home, 28.5 points.
No. Fucking Ant, man. Yeah, we haven't talked about the second game. Ant had 1 point in the first half there. He got outscored by a guy who pulled his hamstring and didn't play half of the second quarter. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was not we were high on the T-Wolves there. We were talking about them yesterday a little bit, just like how this is a fun story and we want the national spotlight on Ant. And he fell on his face in a big way there. I don't know if you saw the clip after the game there, but they read out the stat that it has been the worst shooting performance from three from a team in NBA history in the postseason. The last 3 games, I believe it was, for the T-Wolves. They're like 12 for 70 something.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Too many
Ant just
threes,
laughed.
man.
He just laughed. He was just like, oh yep, I guess.
I know. I saw his face. He was like shocked.
Yeah.
And these guys need to start taking balls to the rack, dude. This is getting insane.
It's what he does best, man. That's probably a good segue into tonight because we were quite critical of the Celtics, especially in the fourth quarter last time out, that they were getting open looks and they were getting open threes. And I don't think they will shoot as poorly as they shot last game. And I think they should take care of business tonight. But dude, they got to start going to the rim. They got to start going to the rim, especially when you got 3 or 4 fouls on Cat and he's just olaying in the paint there. We need some more old school fiery basketball, like what we saw from the Pacers going to the rack last night.
That would be just good viewing experience and probably good for them as a team and their results.
Here's a fun little exercise. Well, 2 things going on in the chat before we go over. Nez, Spike is looking for that sweet EV this evening by gifting out 5 Badge Bros memberships. So yes. If I'm picking a front runner for tonight's basketball slate, I am picking my guy Spike 9771. Appreciate you, man. A longtime member gifting out some membies there. And then this is a fun one. Pade's asking us to guess the line for game 2, T-Wolves at home, coming off of the big loss where what did they lose by last night? Like 20 some odd, something like that once they waved the white flag. No Steph already been confirmed for at least game 2. What do you think the line would potentially be there?
9.5.
9.5? Yeah. 9.5. Yeah, I think maybe 8. I would have guessed 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll find out in a second when we jump over to Unabated. But yeah, I don't know. I got a fun just kind of basketball question for you. If you are the Pacers favorites in the series now?
100%.
Yeah?
100%. Yeah.
If the Knicks steal another game tonight or win another game tonight and they're up 2-0 going home, are the Knicks favorites in that series?
It'd be like minus 120 plus 100 to the Knicks. But Pacers are big favorites. Pacers are big favorites.
Okay. What about if Denver wins tonight? Will they be favorites against OKC in that series?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. This is such a sick game.
The Thunder are different. The Thunder are different, man. I think the Thunder win by like 20 tonight.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You thought that in game 1, though.
I know. I think it tonight. Now I feel even better about it tonight because like coming off a loss at home.
Yeah.
A chance to adjust.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about some of those adjustments. Let's move into the slate tonight. Break down kind of some of the game dynamics. I will bring up the beautiful interface that is Unabated. Some more GMs in the chat rolling through. Our guy Bindles hanging out there. What's good, my friend? I will jump on over here. We will also get our answer here. Minus 10 tomorrow for the T-Wolves. Some big spreads in these next 3. I'll give it a couple zooms here. How's that look?
That's good.
Good? Okay. Cool. Yeah, minus 10 by way of the T-Wolves next time out there, courtesy of the redacted book.
Cavs favored on the road.
I think that's anticipating getting some bodies back, no? I mean, it's only 1.5, but
I don't know if Mobley comes back, but it seems like Garland is closer than Mobley.
Yeah, it sounded that way when he was like the guy on the treadmill and that sort of thing, whereas everybody else was just not participating. Like, did you see they replayed at the start of the game last night, the injuries that took place? And like Mobley comes down on Turner's foot and then snaps it over. Yeah, the The Hunter one was like he just came down, like went up hard at the rim, his hand, and then fell awkwardly as well. Yeah, I don't know. They looked kind of bad.
Yeah, I didn't actually like see the replays of them.
Yeah.
I'm just like reading, and what I'm reading is like Mobley can't put weight on his ankle.
Fuck, that sucks, man. Defensive player of the year. And they needed rim protection last night in a big way because once they got those high side switches on like Allen and stuff, he was getting cooked, in my opinion. Like, or sorry, got those high side switches off of Allen because Allen was the only kind of like big with perimeter defense available because like the Pacers got to the rim at will. And I don't know, did you see Atkinson's comments about like the Pacers playing like too aggressively and like blurring the lines?
He said something like it wasn't dirty, but like yeah,
Yeah.
they were playing really rough.
Yeah. They do look like they're dogging him a bit. Like Naismith in particular, and Betty Math going to the rim, like man, they were playing like way tougher.
Yeah, like I mean that put back dunk, I think that was Naismith where he just like threw down Spida at like literally just like threw Spida to the ground. Little retaliation elbow after. I'm glad they didn't call that a flagrant and let the boys play. I thought that was innocuous enough that it wasn't a flagrant, but definitely some frustration in that elbow to his head. They're playing rough. I don't think, and maybe someone can show me evidence that says otherwise. I don't think it's dirty. I don't think it's dirty,
yeah.
But they are playing really tough. And I mean that's a mentality, it's the fucking playoffs for sure. Go in their house and steal their cookies.
Yeah, no, well put. Let's focus on tonight's games here. Talk about it there. We got Celtics as 10.5-point favorites at home. There is one. Sorry, I was not prepared because I was waiting for a new injury report in 6 minutes just to confirm things. But Sam Hauser is doubtful for this evening, which, kind of matters, doesn't matter. We're talking about 11 or 12 minutes, but then we're also talking about Kristaps Porzingis, man. There's been a lot of weird shit with him this year. I almost put him on the cover just because he's such a focal point of this slate in terms of a talking point, because that's the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2 from our drafting standpoint is Porzingis has fallen like a rock out here with the probable tag, with the illness, with the fact that maybe he hasn't been playing 100%. He had that weird stretch of 5-game illnesses that we were like, hey, he's going to come back. It was right in and around the dog bowl there where he just randomly got scratched. And then Horford became the swap for Awen in particular, who had a good dog bowl there. So, yeah, just thinking through the most impactful injury nuggets on the slate right now, them being the Sam Hauser doubtful tag and the Kristaps Porzingis probable tag this evening. What are your thoughts just in general on that one with the Celtics this evening?
I mean, I'm seeing Kristaps fall to ridiculous ranges right now. Man, I'm probably gonna have like 40% when it's all said and done tonight. I mean, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it. It's just like what you should do in situations like this. It's just one of those things where recency bias is hitting so hard, and we don't care about who the player is and what his true range of outcomes are. All we care about is what we've seen lately. And everybody just got fucked just the other night thanks to this guy, and no one wants to play him because they're pissed off at him.
Right.
I'm gonna play him, and I love where I'm getting him. Like 5th round, like consistently today. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think it's a pretty intelligent strategy right now between us in this safe little bubble of 200 of us watching right now, that if you have a recreational player on either side of you in these 4-person drafts, that you just keep pushing that Zinger P tag, because I've been able to get a decent amount of 5th round, primarily paired with my SGA teams, kind of at that pick. What is it? 19, I guess 19, 18, whatever that would be there in the 5th round.
I think 18.
18. Yeah. And then I have been able to obtain him pushed all the way to the 5th round with your 4th, your 104 teams there as well. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Some funny stuff in the chat here. Like Zinger to Cornet swaps are going to hit like crack. Getting ahead of like Al Horford right now if there's no Zinger. Losing to pick 24 Zinger going to hit like Fench. Like, yeah, people are all kind of like in the know of what's kind of going on here. So I do think you have to find some different ways to get different in these lobbies today. And this player pool today is far more condensed than yesterday's was, Nez, because you could tell yourself a story with the Q tags to take Dean Wade in the last round, to take Sam Morril in the last round, to take Isaac Okoro in the last round, and that expands the player pool. Today, man, after Peyton Pritchard, like nobody is even taking Mitchell Robinson after the Haka Robinson stuff from last game. People are not really flirting with an Aaron Wiggins game or a Cason Wallace game. People are kind of mixing that in. Last time we had these two teams on the slate, not so much today. It looks like everyone is just chasing this GM, and it comes by way of people letting Porter fall and letting Porzingis fall because of their recent performances.
Yeah, I have like a 25 player pool today.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think fully there with you.
I think most people are playing it very similarly. We can move over to like ADPs and projections and talk about some of that stuff. Just having seen one of each of these games here, Nez, a couple switches and a couple ideas that I think I would be making this evening if I were coaching these teams and how it could impact our game tonight. If I am the Celtics this evening, I want Holiday more involved offensively, attacking Brunson. I think that is a spot that they can get. I think you were directionally accurate with the handling role last time out there, especially if Zinger's not 100%. I think you're going to want a little bit more offense funneling through, and you're going to need some more attack to the basket stuff from them. I think the Celtics were in a really good place to win last game, getting two quick ones on both Hart and Cat. I think they should have stayed aggressive attacking the basket. And I think one place in which you could be aggressive attacking the basket today is anything switched onto Brunson and make Brunson have to work extra hard on both sides of the floor, because Brunson has the toughest matchup on the offensive end anytime Drew Holiday or Derek White switch onto him or stay onto him.
Yeah, I mean, someone should be attacking Brunson. I mean,
yeah.
Settling for threes when you can be hunting for mismatches and trying to get yourself a more effective shot is just, very, very strange. Very strange. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. But they just live and die by the three all season long. I don't see why it would be any different tonight.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
And to be honest, the amount of open threes they missed last game, they probably could have won that game. Well, we talked about it yesterday a little bit. How it was like the amount of open threes they missed. If you just give those open threes again, they're going to cook you tonight.
Probably.
Yeah, shots got to fall, right? Nick, resident Knicks expert, saying they'd love the game plan for Giroux to attack. Look, I agree. You don't want to run your offense through Giroux, but I do think it's a spot that you want to get switches out of, or you want to get the ball in somebody's hands working onto Brunson. And just because Brunson's primary assignment right now is Giroux, that's how it has to start. That doesn't mean it has to end with Drew Holiday going one-on-one fucking ISO ball against Brunson. Just kind of painting out that one. Anything else macro that you want to say about Knicks and Celtics, Nez?
No, I just hell of a job from Brunson last game. And I'm taking a lot of Drew again. And I'm taking a lot of Porzingis. So and I'm kind of like even with the field on Knicks. I just saw that I have like way, way, way low Josh Hart exposure. And I guess the field is taking Josh Hart over Chet. That's the only thing I can really think of. Maybe they're taking Josh Hart over Jaylen Brown. I mean, I don't know what I can change to get greater than like 15% Josh Hart, but right now I have like very, very little.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you. They're picking the most desirable Knicks wing is going to be very tough because Bridges was so effective in the overtime and he plays the most minutes out of the group. Hart and OG were both very good in the first game, but they all kind of cannibalize each other. So putting three on a roster doesn't feel great. So picking between those three that all go between rounds 2, 3 ish in that tier is very muddied. And I think the only way to get overexposed to Hart is to push him above Chet. And yeah, I don't know if that's a decision that we want to make. And maybe that's a good segue into the next game because my biggest macro thought here, I understand that Hartenstein had 3 fouls, and I understand that that's why Alex Caruso started the second half. But I think you want more size on Joker as long as you can have. And I think you need Blue Dort on the help side against Joker, which means I want Hartenstein, as my primary 5, and then using Chet or Lou Dort as help side guys off of him. Lou Dort more so with second unit when Chet gets spelled for rest. So funneling into the Chet ADP in my mind is, do we think we get more Hartenstein this evening?
I think almost certainly. Yeah. They just got to find a way for him to not like get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
But
Which is
yeah,
you're dealing with the best 5 in the world.
That's it. That's their only answer. That is their only answer. Because you can't put anybody else on Jokic from the Thunder. There's nobody that can guard him on the Thunder other than Hartenstein.
Yeah. I was shocked how much they used Chet. I looked at some of the splits earlier. Can't fully recall now, but like Chet was on him for like 8 baskets or something like that, which I found shocking as like primary defender. Or sorry, not 8 baskets, but 8 attempts. And I think he went like 6 for 8 against him or something like that. Where it's like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, I understand Hartenstein had foul trouble. I think you need a little more, not that Chet isn't size. Chet is long and lean. I think you need some more some beefy baseball boys down low there, and Lou Dort as help side alongside Hartenstein could be one way to do it. Yeah, kind of a long-winded way of saying that like the Caruso performance obviously was an outlier, but like there's reasons it happened, and whether we believe those narratives or not going into tonight will impact how we treat Hartenstein and Caruso this evening.
Yeah, as far as the help side thing goes, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't remember how they were like defending him with help side last game, but I mean, he's just such a skilled passer that like they'll just kill you and get an efficient shot, if you do help too much. But yeah, they got to try something. And hopefully it's just Hartenstein just like limiting him as much as they can, and then them going, blow for blow offensively.
I respect it, dude. Good takes. All right, Nez, I'm gonna bring up the ADP, aka just projection, in this case here, and we could talk about some of the most interesting debates along the way. I think it's a pretty clean cut that it's Joker and SGA at the 1-2 there. I think Tatum is kind of locked in at that 3, and then I think it starts getting funky. I think the most repeatable combo that I've seen at the 104 right now is actually J-Dub and Brunson in one order of that. But that is not reflected in the site projection right now. Is this how you've been playing it, or is there some deviation? Are we buying back into a potential cap ceiling? Thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's how I have it. I did have Brunson over J-Dub for a little bit, but I think if I was to, rank how I think it's going to go, I would have J-Dub over Brunson is what I expect. But in reality, it's really not that big of a deal because if I'm getting Brunson, chances are I'm pairing him with J-Dub anyway, so it's probably just like a bunch of J-Dub Brunson anyhow.
Yeah, fully agree there. One of the saving graces with like the Brunson projection, and I mean, I still don't love the Brunson matchup, even though he played so well in game 1, but just so much is going to have to funnel through him. I do still think the 2 worst matchups for both of these games is Brunson on offense and Jamal Murray on offense. Like Jamal had one good quarter and then he was pretty much locked down. That being said, Joker played, one of the best games in playoff history kind of deal with the 40 and 20. But yeah, just thoughts in general on this next tier here are we going to see some cat resurgence? Jamal in here. And then I guess I kind of treat it as a 2-tier, but I guess you could throw JB and Chet in here as well. How are you treating this?
I have it cat basically how you have it right now. Like literally Cat, Jamal, JB, Chet. And I would consider like I don't think I would really come off that cat ranking. I would definitely just keep him there. Just ceiling wise, just makes too much sense. And this I can't like he has had now back to back pretty poor performances in the playoffs. With the 14 and 10 scoring wise against Boston and against Detroit, but I something's got to give at some point. So I'm not coming off that cat ranking.
Okay. Yeah, no, I respect it, man. Do you think it's better with or without Porzingis in there for him, or does it matter?
I don't. Probably without.
Okay.
I think it definitely helps him not being there, but it's marginal regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, foul trouble definitely played a role in how aggressive he was on the rebounds and stuff like that last game. Yeah, it just less minutes. He takes about 6 or 7 minutes off of his ceiling there. Yeah, I'm very interested to see. Nobody's drafting Mitch Rob tonight. I'm very interested to see if they go to some double big stuff when Zinger does play a full game or at least plays his 28 minutes, opposed to what we saw in game one. But this hack of Mitch Rob stuff, got you kind of scared, no?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so
Yeah.
much. It's such bullshit. Terrible basketball, and it's soft as fuck. I really just hate it with every fiber of my being, and I love that they lost. Yeah, it's definitely going to limit the minutes for Mitch Rob. I think they'll try to play 20 again if they can. But yeah, it's very, very tough when they're doing that bullshit.
Okay. Pitch, we will get there, my friend. But yes, I do think Deuce is draftable. I mean, we saw him come in after a bit of that foul trouble as like first man up, and he was instant offense, right? So yeah. Yeah, if they need offense or Brunson's in foul trouble or anything ever happened to Brunson, like Deuce McBride's like the number one off the bench kind of scoring threat, I would say. All right, Nez, what happens in this next kind of tier is really going to decide the slate. And I think it is I think a lot of people might put Hart up in this tier and put him over like the Chet stuff there. But for me, I kind of think it is this Hart, OG, White, what we've seen from Eric Gordon, what we saw from Bridges in that overtime. This big tier is going to decide what happens. And treating it as a tier and mixing and matching it a little bit might be the smartest way to go about it, because all the combos that keep lining up right now are the same over and over again, where Derek White and Aaron Gordon get paired with J-Dub and Brunson or J-Dub and Cat over and over and over again. So if you want to differentiate your 104s or differentiate in the middle there, just treat it as the OG game instead of the Hart game or something like that. Yeah, but in terms of like isolated takes for this tier, who's kind of your favorite of this next grouping, Hart through Bridges?
I think I like Chet more than Hart. Okay. But I do agree that it does seem like people are putting putting Hart over Chet.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'll just say Hart. It's really, really close, dude. It's really, really close. I think I would say Hart, Derek White, OG, if I had to rank it. But it's really, really close. And then Aaron Gordon, Mikhail, Brown, after that. I do have Mikhail over Christian Brown,
but you have Derek White over Gordon and Mikhail.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Do you have Derek White over OG?
I do currently, but I kind of mix and match. I have a lot of OG, so I'm just kind of chilling out.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
I like OG a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I couldn't tell you who's going to have more points. I like all these guys. I'm just mixing and matching.
Yeah, fair enough. Now the next question is, in that above tier, does Zinger and Hartenstein belong with that group ahead of Christian Brown?
I mean, you should not put Porzingis in this group. He should be at the bottom of this tier because that's where he's being drafted, and you can get a lot of Porzingis, and you're drafting worse Porzingis teams by not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with this current ranking here: Brown, Hartenstein, Porzingis.
Okay, so you like Christian Brown over Hartenstein tonight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think you and I will differ there. I like Hartenstein more.
I think he's just going to be so taxed defensively. Like he is not. His role is not offense in the slightest right now. It is
That's
just true. You are Jokic stopper. Like that is what you need to be gearing towards. Don't set yourself up for fouls. Set some screens, do whatever. But that's how I'm seeing it. But I mean, yeah, Christian Brown can be very inefficient when he wants to be.
Yeah, but the minutes will be there. The minutes will be there. Okay, let's talk about this kind of like next grouping. Michael Porter Jr. looked fucking lost in the first half of last game. Lazy one-armed rebounds that got ripped away from him. He looks like he's struggling to go up with that left shoulder. He's still wearing that pad on the left shoulder. Michael Porter Jr. is falling in a lot of these rooms, but we know when he gets open and gets hot, he can get hot in a big way, but he's clearly deferring, man. And when I'm watching the eye test, my estimation is he really struggles to catch and dribble with his left hand right now. I've seen everything be one arm like this or right-handed dribble to right-handed pass and not two-handed pass, like that sort of thing. That's just my eye test right now. I do think that shoulder is really hurting him. But how far is too far for Michael Porter Jr. to fall amongst, Westbrook coming off the bench, Porter Jr. here, Drew Holiday, and Alex Caruso, who broke the slate last time out?
I mean, I have Porter really low.
Okay.
Like below Horford, below Lou Dort.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I've seen enough. Like Porter Jr. is not right, and they just beat OKC without needing him. Maybe that changes, whenever they're tonight. Maybe they do need Michael Porter Jr. more. I'm officially in need to see it first mode with Michael Porter Jr.
Okay, cool. So then let's talk about that grouping above him then. Who do you prefer in kind of like what order right now?
So, yeah, after Porzingis, I have it Caruso.
Okay.
Drew, Russ, Al, Lou Dort.
Okay. I can get on board with that. I like that. I think Caruso played so effing well. I mean, let's dial the clock back for a second. When everybody dunked all over, look at how good Giddey is. And, that trade was so bad. And now look at how fucking good Caruso is in the role that they needed. Like, they didn't need Josh Giddey on this team. They needed Alex Caruso on this team. It's fucking dope.
Yeah, I suppose it was a win-win.
Yeah, it was win-win for sure. For sure, win-win. Yeah. So Holiday, we talked about, a little bit of his like on-ball role on the offensive end, and we know he's going to be guarding on-ball on the defensive end there, which kind of just raises the potential stock floor for him. He only had one steal in game one there, but 38 minutes was really encouraging after he missed 3 in a row there. Just thoughts on Caruso this evening in general, though. What's are we buying fully what we saw last game, or do we think that was part of the Hartenstein fouls equation?
The minutes didn't really change too much, Like he ran super hot on stocks, and drained a lot of threes, but like that's just like what he's capable of doing. I mean, just in the last 4 games here, 7 stocks, 3 stocks, 5 stocks, 4 stocks. You know, he's contributing in every category. Good floor, great ceiling. It's just like a no brainer right now. And maybe they even say we gotta play more Alex Caruso tonight. Like I don't know at whose expense, but like we got to find ways to get Alex Caruso involved. It would not shock me. Yeah, I like Caruso a lot. I had a lot of Caruso at one point, and then I adjusted my rank on him and chilled out.
There was a lot of overlap between him and Isaiah Joe, but you could probably find about 5 more minutes for Caruso if you pulled them off Joe. That being said, those 5 minutes came for Caruso came at the expense of Hartenstein foul trouble, so maybe it would
Got
just
it.
be a wash and kind of be 25 minutes. Maybe they don't do the Aaron Wiggins second quarter stretch there. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure. It would have to come at the expense of Lou Dort, and I think you want the size of Lou Dort, especially when you're dealing with Aaron Gordon being so aggressive going to the rim right now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You definitely need some size against Denver.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's really good. Now we get into the fun portion of the program, where Peyton Pritchard is basically last man off the board over and over and over again, and falls to 24 almost every time, unless it's Horford or Dort, and that's kind of what gets paired with the Joker teams every single time. If we want to differentiate from this, who are our favorite scroll the F down gal brain potentials here?
I really don't have an answer for you. Like Deuce McBride is an option. Um, Mitchell Robinson is like player 25 for me, and I'm barely getting to him.
Okay.
You know, let's see here. I was gonna say like, man, I saw Peyton Watson play basketball. But like 14 minutes. I mean, like who can you really get to?
Peyton Watson played 14 minutes last game, and he was a team worst -22.
It didn't feel like that, but wow.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell? Yeah, it did not feel like that. We saw Strother get like 5 minutes, but he's not going to break a slate for you. I think the two quote unquote slate breakers back here that find their way or could find their way into minutes would be Cason Wallace and Aaron Wiggins. And I think Aaron Wiggins has the higher ceiling of the two, but the less clean path to minutes. We are going to get an Aaron Wiggins game in this series at some point in time. I have no idea when it's coming. It might be only blowout run, but Aaron Wiggins is going to matter on one of these slates eventually.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't feel as confident about that as you do.
Yeah. Okay. Big Funchy with a good point here. Wouldn't the Celtics eventually run out of fouls to give on Mitch Rob? I mean, yeah, unless they just keep bringing in that second unit and just using Luke Cornett the way in which they used Luke Cornett in game 1, which was like, oh, Mitch Rob's out there, bring in Cornett, foul Mitch Rob, please. And then we don't care how many fouls you have, and then go back to the bench kind of deal. So if it's Cornett doing it over and over again, you can get away with it for a little bit. I'm seeing some Cornett love in the chat from Ghost and from T-Bear. Nick saying the answer of the scroll the F down is you're losing to the winner. That's pretty funny. Juice McCaffrey saying we got 85 viewers, 25 likes, bunch of freeloaders. Absolutely. Please hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Yeah, we got 100 and some odd on the X side, and then we got 90 some odd on the YouTube side. Hop on over if you're on the X side there, please and thank you. Kobe Shorts dumbing it down for us, Nez. Who wins these ball games tonight?
Thunder and Knicks.
Woo, spicy. Thunder and Knicks for Nez. Love it. All right, let's move into a draft here. Unless there's any final words to share on NBA Alpha.
No. Let's see what these lobbies are up to.
See what these dorks are doing. Every time I fade hard, he gets 3 steals in the first quarter. Influencer 101. Thank you, Numi. Sent him a DM real quick there and made sure I got the 101 for the stream, because why wouldn't you want Joker on your team? Oh,
I don't know.
classic.
People might be going Tatum 101.
T-Bear saying what's happening with Cleveland is probably what's happening with OKC. The auxiliary guys disappear. I mean, Russo's been balling the fuck out, so I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you're reliant only on the auxiliary ones, guys, it's pretty tough, you know?
Yeah, you can't be fully reliant on those guys. That's not going to bode well.
Yeah, exactly. Steven saying the best pick at 24 is the one player that randomly falls from 18 in your room. I mean, yeah, potentially. Absolutely. Joker at the 101 here. Is there any merit in quote unquote flipping the board this evening and taking like a Tatum 1 team to get a unique combination, or no?
I don't think it's like the worst idea in the world. But I'm not doing it. But I do think that like it's not as crazy as it sounds. I actually do believe that, but I don't have the balls to do it.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I could see that. And I mean, there is a little merit to with these 10, spread games, that it could break. One of them plays tight and one of them does not, and that really nerfs the minutes in one spot versus the other spot. So that the interplay dynamics of these games playing to their spreads and one not playing to their spreads. So, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very, very tough slate to get different on comparative to yesterday's slate. Yesterday, you could find your paths.
It's very tight.
Jamal comes back to us here. I like pairing Jamal with Joker, just in general. And then we can have the discussion of Chet versus Hart versus OG. What do you like?
I'm surprised you don't want to flip it a little here.
No, I like
Derek White.
I think it's fine. I'd prefer the game correlation of Chet and then kind of figuring something else out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, flipping the Derek White is probably the most viable option. Because Derek White is effectively never paired with Joker, and that is true of Aaron Gordon as well. So just flipping that tier today in the 3rd round and 4th round seems like the most intentional combo decision you can make.
Yeah, I would say another combo decision to think about is, we're probably going to be staring on the barrel of like Pritchard versus Mitch Rob in the 6th. And how many Joker teams do you think will have Peyton Pritchard tonight? Let me Lawden thinks this. Okay. What do you think? I'll give you my answer. What do you think I'm thinking?
I think you're thinking 83% of all Joker teams.
Ooh, I wasn't thinking that much.
Okay.
I was going to say 60%.
60%? Okay.
Well, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Especially when the contest is only like 50% full right now, or like 60% full, I think. And last night's combos are going to be crazier than now with projections out combos. We get Bridges to come back to us. I think that's a good pick. And then I'm more than happy to bring up, Drew, or bring up Caruso. Or we can tack on a 3rd Nuggets piece. What do you like?
I like Mikal and Holiday.
Let's do it. Play them as the other game environment there. Man, I thought Mikal played really well last game. Like, in particular the overtime.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of crazy because yes, they gave up way too much for him. And yes, the trade will age like milk kind of thing in basketball terms. But from like a dude who plays north of 40 and doesn't miss a game for like 5 years, there's something to be said for that, in this day and age of basketball, even if he is only the 50th best player in the league or 60th best player in the league.
He's just like made in a lab to play for Tibbs.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like just a perfect Tibbs guy. And John, you ask anybody in New York, like, was the trade worth it based on that game alone? Like, they could lose every game from here on out, but like, was it worth it because of the way that he just ripped the ball from Jaylen Brown's hands? Yes,
Yeah.
they will tell you, give him another first.
That's so true. All right, Nez. So we have the decision, as you alluded to, and we got to be the guys, man. We're all looking for the guy. And the narrative we painted here is the Nuggets are cooking. And Chet's the only guy that matters on the other side. Nuggets are cooking. It's Aaron Wiggins' season. They're searching for scoring in the opposite direction. We scroll the F down. Aaron Wiggins for a 4-game stack there. Yeah, that's the narrative we're going with. Because if we take Pritchard on this team, we are 1,000% duped.
1,000%.
1,000%.
No, I think you gotta find something else for sure. Yeah, what are I saw never mind. I was gonna say I saw Jay Will out there like actually playing real basketball.
Yeah,
like not just like but that was for literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think he played. Was it 2 minutes? That was only 2 minutes.
He didn't play 3 minutes.
I love it. I remember him taking a 3. That's all burned in my mind was that he's taking a 3.
Yeah.
Kobe Short's asking, do you think Caruso's fallen to 24? I think 0% chance today. I think the potential fallers to 24 that are more slate breaky tonight would be Zinger, if you're in a room that's all fading that P tag, or Michael Porter Jr. falling to 24 would be the two most notable combinations. But never say never, right? We're playing a 100,000 entry contest, right?
Yeah. Horford pick 24 would be nice. Like if I got Horford to pick 24, I'd be elated.
I said 100,000. I meant it's a 100,000 guaranteed contest, but it's 22,000 entries. My bad there. Okay, Nez. Should we rip one more of those, or should we move on to the baseball? Have we done our due diligence on that one?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to baseball here.
All right. Talking a little baseball 7-game slate here, which is kind of that sweet spot. We will start with weather, as we always do. Nez, the only real concerns, in my estimation, are in Kansas City this evening. Potentially going to be a postpone or rain delay, something there. And that kind of matters because pitching from the Royals side, and Royals, man, Royals were stone cold chalk yesterday. They were stone cold chalk like 3 days ago. They've been undoubtedly one of the worst offenses in all of baseball to start this year. And people want to play them because they're playing the White Sox. I wanted Bobby Witt 101 yesterday. I paid the price for doing so. Nez, yeah, I'm going to be soft fading that game just in general today.
Yeah, never judge. Just
Never.
Aaron Judge on the slate, take him 101.
Yeah.
No, I had a lot of Bobby Witt. I had a lot of the right-handed Royals for the reverse splitsy, the reverse hard contact of absolutely fell flat on its face, man. Because I never get the 1% outcomes right. I never do. I go out on a ledge. I draft the 1% outcome, and it's just the chalk ass result every single time. But not tonight. Not tonight.
Interesting of note, the Baltimore and Minnesota game. Minnesota put up 9 runs yesterday. Kind of looks like a spot that we'd want to go searching for offense, but a little bit of wind coming in from left field, which is a little undesirable in a park in which mitigates power at the best of times. So yeah, little skittish on that one, but definitely still going to be drafting some bats from that environment there. This is all the morning stuff here. Yeah, 84 degrees in that Rays game. Light sprinkles of rain, but they should be able to get that one in. Yankees and Padres looks more like pitching than hitting to me, but if you want to stack Yankees or Padres, I will never fault you there. Obviously, there's the game we're concerned about with the Royals and White Sox. 70 degrees, and then we got a Coors game. We got a Coors game that got rained out yesterday. Coors game on the slate here. Looks like they're going to run back the same pitching matchup as yesterday with Doler and Jackson Jobe there. So yeah, I mean it's 53 degrees, which is less than ideal, but Coors can still Coors when it's a little chilly out. That's all I got for weather there. I can hop on over to the ballpark, pal, and share a little bit more insight there, Nez. But any other thoughts on just weather and park factors and that sort of thing tonight?
Just not drafting Royals tonight. Yeah, just staying away from that one. Bobby Witt's like the 102 right now. Not doing that. Not doing that. On the bright side, I think if you are drafting them or you have some Royals in your portfolio, like I think this game's going to get called before opening tip. So,
so we'll get some swap ability you're alluding
hopefully.
to?
Yeah, okay. I think so, man. It looks pretty hopeless.
Okay, sounds good to me. A couple parks playing up for home runs, according to the ballpark, pal. That is Steinbrenner Field there, and that is Yankee Stadium. Playing a little bit down for just like doubles and triples and runs in general, but playing a little bit up for power. Coors, by far the best hitting environment on the slate, and that's somewhat reflected in ADP right now with cover boy Kerry Bonds, aka Kerry Carpenter, going in the top 5 there. Nez, how are you treating, just as a macro, how are you treating Coors today?
I am treating it as though it plays, and I'm not like rushing to the podium to stack Coors, but I'm making sure I do have a couple onslaughts in my bag, and a couple, 3-man chalk stacks. I'm getting to it, but it's definitely, I'm not trying to go overboard with it. Really, if I can help it, which a lot of the time I can't help it, but trying to get flatter with the old exposures here.
Yeah, I mean, kind of an evergreen debate in terms of portfolio management, but I've been working on some baseball stuff on the side here, as we've kind of alluded to and whatnot, and you want to be flatter, just kind of in a vacuum when it comes to these high variant sports that are event based, and this one in particular in baseball and hockey a little bit as well there, just because range outcomes from where goals and where home runs can come from range so greatly on day-to-day outputs. Even if you're right on a stack scoring 10 runs, if you repeat the same 3-man over and over and over again, it might not come by way of those bats, right?
100%.
All right, Nez, we should do pitching. We should do pitching first here. Pretty interesting slate, just in terms of shorter slate dynamics. A way more stars and scrubby slate than yesterday. I felt way more comfortable with some of the arms yesterday, but somewhat similar today. Hunter Green, fly ball pitcher who has a big high K strikeout ceiling there, and Atlanta has been scuffling a little bit there. Is he your SP1 today?
Yeah, I think so. Not like convincingly, but yeah, he's SP1 for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think he has the highest K ceiling on the slate, although Dylan Cease is not far behind there, but it does look like a tougher matchup and a tougher park to pitch in. Yeah, he feels the safest, especially with the recent Atlanta performance. He seems the safest of the bets and going as SP1 for good reason there. I think the next tier here is this Max Fried and Dylan Cease tier. We don't love to go to Yankee Stadium for pitching. We saw a big explosion inning against the bullpen last night for the Yankees. I think it was the 8th inning or something like that. They scored like 8 or 10 runs, something insane there. Austin Wells had a grand slam. Who gives a fuck? Let's move on. But let's just talk about pitching in that environment, and if these two are your next favorites on the slate.
I mean, Fried is definitely SP2 for me.
Agreed.
Cease, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Hasn't been a great start to the season for Cease. The Yankees just see the ball better in Yankee Stadium. They're, the lefties are killing opposing pitching in Yankee Stadium. I prefer Fried to Cease, and Cease is an SP3 for me.
Okay, cool. I tend to agree with you there. San Diego doesn't strike out a ton, but they strike out more against left-handed pitching when the lefties stay in the lineup, and they have to kind of leave the lefties in the lineup because they don't really have anything else better to go to. So Jackson Merrill being in, kind of makes this lineup better in general, but also introduces a little bit more of some strikeouts into it as well. When it's lefty-lefty, Fried has been the complete opposite of Fried is fried to start this season. He's been one of the best pitchers in the big leagues, if not the best in the American League outside of probably Cole Reagans to start this year. But yeah, I like Fried just in general, even though the strikeout matchup looks better for Cease than it does for Fried. Just the fact that, those lefties have to stay in the lineup will make it look a little bit better. I wonder if we're going to go to the same pitcher next. Who do you like next?
Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, likewise, man. We've talked about this Tampa Bay. I know the park plays, kind of tough sometimes, especially for home run power, but he's getting more strikeouts than in years past, and he's a ground ball guy. So, that's going to play well in a place where the ball flies. I really like it. And something that we've talked about, that the Rays of the past were so good against left-handed pitching. That is not the case anymore because they're so reliant on those good lefties in the top 3 spots or three of the top 6. If you keep, Misner or Meisner in there as well. So Aranda, Lau, and Misner, probably pull those guys out. So, yeah, I like Sanchez today a lot.
Yep, yeah, Sanchez with that really nice changeup too. Gets some swing and miss for the righties that are in the lineup. The park is scary, but Christopher Sanchez, just one of the best pitchers on the slate, and I'm not too terrified of the matchup.
Can you hear Tucker right now?
Mm-mm.
He's full upside down, like just barking, like soft barks. He's just like in his dreams. He likes Christopher Sanchez today too. All right, Nez, I think both you and I are going to be off Waka today because we don't think that game has a chance of going. And even if it is a chance of going, we hate pitchers in rain games more than we hate bats in rain games because of the propensity for the shortened start, that sort of deal. There, do you like Shane Baz? I've had the lazy comp of calling him a poor man's Tyler Glass now there with some strikeout upside. He got shelled last time out against Kansas City. But just thoughts on that next grouping. Who do you like next?
Baz is fine.
Yeah,
I would prefer Jose Berrios.
Ooh, interesting. You and I are going to be on opposite sides of the fence in that one. Jose Berrios is a guy that I'm going to be stacking against today. Big right-handed fly ball problems. He's reverse splitsy for a long time now, and that Angels lineup is loaded with right-handed power. I like this spot better than I liked the spot yesterday for the Angels today. So
Berrios isn't that reverse splitsy. I mean,
for power outcomes. Fly balls.
I mean, lefties slug better than righties against them.
Yeah, but do ISO and fly balls for me. You looking at it?
I mean, I'm just looking at Fangraphs.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have ISO in front of me, but
Okay.
I mean, either way, with the Angels are pretty watered down right now. So, as
Mhm.
far as just like a guy that I think can not get shelled and put up a quality start,
Mhm.
um, that's where I'm looking.
Okay. That guy for me will be Grant Holmes. I like Grant Holmes more than I like Jose Barrios in that same vein there, Nez.
Hmm. Why do we like Grant Holmes?
I just think he's better.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I think
Do
he
you like
sucks.
do you like Shane Boz better than both?
Yeah.
Or okay. So you still like you I think we're both high on the Sanchez one. You like Boz as that, and then there. Will you go to Coors for pitching today at all?
No, because Job doesn't have any K upside.
Okay.
And I worry about lefties against Dollander, but I do like Dollander for like anytime Dollander's at home. I've
Mhm.
been like hitting his K sliders.
Okay.
He's got really good K upside, but against the Tigers, it scares me today. So I'm not doing it.
Okay, cool. Charlie Morton, professional ass pitcher who has been atrocious to start the year. The K ceiling is gone and he's been getting shelled all over the place. Any interest in him?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah. Likewise. I've never got Simeon Woods Richardson right before, but I'll be stacking against him instead of playing him today. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm not drafting Simeon Woods Richardson today. Like you said,
Okay.
stacking against him.
Okay, and then Kikuchi, Toronto's got some higher than usual ADPs. We know he's a guy who has a little bit of K upside going against one of his former teams that traded him away last year. Yeah, thoughts on Kikuchi? Do you like him or dislike him?
He hasn't gotten off to a good start today, and the Blue Jays are full of right-handed hitters. So I'm not really doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think you could do worse, but I think I would rank it like that, and Nez would rank it like that.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, cool. Perfect. Let's do the stacks thing. So we got 7 games. We're anticipating only having 6 though, which kind of narrows the playing pool a little bit there. The chalk stacks for today are going to be Detroit in a decent way there. Toronto, Minnesota are all getting stacked a decent amount. And then Yankees primarily as one-offs and not getting stacked as much. I've seen a little bit of Phillies stuff getting stacked, and that's kind of like the chalk of what's going on in the lobbies that I've seen thus far. Who are your favorite and least favorite of kind of like those routinely drafted ones?
Um, for me, I really like the Blue Jays,
Okay.
just because of the cost of Blue Jays. They're definitely one that I'm getting to a lot. Um, I really like the Orioles today, given their ADPs. So I'll have a lot of them, and then the Twins too. Those are like my three that like I've penciled in as like big time targets for me today. Outside of like the Tigers, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Tigers, just Detroit lefties are going to be stone cold chalk for sure. I like the Baltimore one quite a bit out of that grouping. I'll be a little bit further down on Toronto than you will be. Sherlock agreeing with you here, saying that Springer, generational wealth opportunity, had a nice game yesterday, homered yesterday, coming back to life a little bit there. So let's see what Springer's ADP is. Yeah, 29.6 seems good there. Of the less chalky variety, Nez, who have your eyes been gravitating towards either one-offs or stacks?
Yeah, I think the Twins would be considered like not chalky today.
Yep.
Um, and then outside of them, hmm, I haven't gotten too crazy. The slate's small too. Like I haven't done Angels yet, but like I don't disagree that like you should have some Angel stacks.
Yeah.
Um, I think
This is
Yankees,
DK
if
and I
that
were
counts.
in. Yeah, back end Yankees count for sure. Like Ben Rice doesn't go every single time, and he's buried down there. Belly doesn't go every single time, and he's buried in like the 20s or whatever. It's hard to get crazy different on a slate like this, right? Because the only way to get crazy different is to like stack Atlanta against SP1 or stack like whatever. But I'd rather use Atlanta as one-offs versus Hunter Green because he does have a little bit of a fly ball and home run issues. So like, especially against lefties. So if you wanted to just do like one-off Matt Olson, like I'm good with it opposed to stacking against him. But TK and I are in lockstep the last couple days here, and I really agree with this stack. I didn't like the Zach Neto ADP yesterday, so I was telling everybody to play like Ohapi, Ward, and Soler. Now that Neto is more affordable, and I kind of like the spot again today, I will have some 3-man Angel stacks. Quite a bit. Not gonna lie, quite a bit.
All right. I don't see it as rosy as you guys do, but I hear you.
Anybody else that you want to mention in terms of like one-offs or bats that are popping for you? I liked the Ben Rice or auxiliary Yankees. I think Ben Rice as a home run call seems pretty smart today. Anyone else that you would like to potentially shout or get to?
No one like particularly, I guess. Just the Blue Jays, like Springer today. Feel good about Springer, and then as always, Rockies overlooked in when they're in Colorado. So maybe a little Jordan Beck today.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I will definitely be mixing in some Rockies. Definitely Doyle for sure. But yeah, I like that little like back 1-2. You could get maybe like Mickey Moniak hitting near the top of the lineup, being left-handed, with some outfield eligibility. I did notice when I was drafting this morning that outfield does seem considerably thinner than slates in the past year. Maybe that's because you take Oakland off the slate. Maybe that's because you take some of these outfield dominant teams off the slate. But I do think outfield gets a little bit thinner because like we're anticipating Robert not being there, like Morel's lefty and not a great spot. Ozuna, we don't really want to go righty against Green. So like it does get thinner in a hurry at the outfield spot than other slates we've been dealing with recently.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Cool, man. Let's jump in and see what it looks like. Shout out to our guy T-Box who took down the big fly. I haven't been getting in the big fly. It's been feeling so early the last couple days here. So haven't been getting in there. So he took down a first and a second the last 2 nights. So shout out to our guy T-Box for those ones. Shout out to our guy Brendo who took down the cycle the other night. Anyone else you've been noticing up there outside of the ones we looked at earlier?
No, I mean the Wood's up there like every single night. So
evergreen.
Yeah.
We got to have him on again here soon. Interesting stuff here, Nez. We got a couple lineups rolling through. We got the Royals lineup, which I guess is somewhat bullish that they're putting out a lineup. Yeah, interesting indeed. Kevin Biggio finds himself in the 5 hole. Michael Massey in the 6th hole. Yeah, Mikel Garcia, who's been scorching hot, is leading off today. So that's interesting. Yeah, they got a couple outfield options, which they don't normally have. I think we're taking Judge at 1, you said?
Yeah.
You don't want to take Kerry Bonds to be those guys?
You could. You definitely could.
You could take Kerry Bonds, or you could take Kerry Bonds, or you could take the right-handed version of Barry Bonds.
The real Barry. The real Barry. If you wanted to. Your call.
Yeah. They got some outfield options available today, which they don't always have, and like Luke Bailey, Drew Waters, and Kyle Isbell at the bottom there, if that game plays. Rockies have already put out a lineup. Jordan Beck's hitting 2nd there, so that seems good there. Moniak's buried down at 7, so less bullish on that idea now. Yankees have Ben Rice leading off and Austin Wells hitting 3rd, so that could be fun for us.
Okay. Didn't expect to see that.
Brendo, after being the champ, the cycle's the most difficult tournament on the app. Many are
That's what they're saying.
That is what they're saying. There it is. Evan goes 10 NBA Bullets, 6 Joker teams. So congrats to the SGA Tatum teams.
Good to know. Good to know.
Good shit there. Contrarian O's, scroll the F down. Jackson Holiday's been swinging it pretty well in recent memory, doing like some left-handed power there. The wind's going the opposite way too, so it's kind of nerfing righties comparative to lefties, and they get the handedness advantage. So you could do like Jackson Holiday and or O'Hearn with it. Seems good.
Yeah.
Ballpark Pal really likes Ben Rice today, for what it's worth.
Oh.
I'm
intrigued.
Yeah, obviously likes the Detroit stuff. Just confirming that lineup. Trent Grisham is not in the lineup today. That's why Ben Rice is leading off. So we did lose another outfielder option there.
How do you want to play this Judge start? Do you think he's getting stacked very much?
Damn. Yes and no. I'm really happy to just take like Ben Rice and Wells right now and then figure it out.
Yeah, they're just damn. Yeah, there's some good players left here.
Not good players, Des. This is baseball, man. Get back to your roots out here with me. Get back to your roots and just take some Yankees lefties with some 30 plus ADPs and then tack on some one-offs that you like in the 30s. We need Nez to win. We need Nez to win the daytime diamond right now to get his fucking baseball confidence back.
Just draft good players.
just
draft good players, man. Wells will be there. Wells will be there. Pick 36. You can.
Yep, and then your team will look like everybody else with Fernando Tatis.
Except nobody has Austin Wells.
Maybe. No, people have Wells now that he's hitting third.
Not yet, though.
Not yet, but we're talking about when contest ends. As expected, the Rays hammered all their dog shit right-handed bats in there. Yep, that was to be expected. Danny Jansen hitting fourth, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's why we like Christopher Sanchez. I doubt they kept Simpson in, but I'll look right now.
Ninth.
Oh, okay.
They let him off against a lefty the other day.
Yeah.
But ninth tonight.
Yeah, you want a little bit of that was I had a couple notes. But Junior Camanaro's back. That was one of them.
How long was he out?
He missed like a couple games. Nothing crazy. I believe. Yeah, this 3 to 6. So he just missed like a couple days.
Okay.
There. Yeah. But it was just a guy that I noticed.
Highest bat speed in baseball, I believe.
Ooh, seems good. Seems good. All right, Nez, how do we land this plane? Probably with Christopher Sanchez as our SP?
Yeah. Sanchez. Good. And then 1 second.
Let's do this. You wanted a good baseball player who's in a good spot to homer. Let's use Harper as a one-off and then add another one-off from the outfield.
Okay. Have any of your Angels gone?
Probably not, but maybe someone's building Angels. No, nobody's building Angels. So we could do a one-off from Angels outfield in Taylor Ward or Jorge Soler. I think I slightly prefer Ward this evening.
Yeah, you got knowing that you and T Cage both like the Angels. I'm gonna find a way to get there. I found a way to win $1,000 if your Angels get there. I'll share it with you.
All right. I like this. I like where we're headed with this. I really like where we're headed.
It's only going to cost you $10, but
it's only going to cost me $10?
Yeah,
So you're
and
telling
then
me
you
I
can
can win $2,500?
I don't know if it'll let you. Will it let you put in 25 on this?
Let's see.
You'll have to share it.
I'll share it with the community in 1 second here. It's loading. I haven't even seen it yet. Let's see here. Springer's going there. Shout out Kevin taking Trey Sweeney, a touching tribute to the Wood there for the slate the other night.
Yeah.
Another classic Nez scheming behind the paywall, baby.
You just have to wait and see, guys. I don't know.
Trevor Larnach goes there. Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis seems like a fun pick to click today.
Yeah, I thought it would be a fun pick to click yesterday. So that means he's due today.
What you needed yesterday was the 460 whatever foot Carlos Correa first home run of the season. I think it was his second, but yeah,
that was impressive.
Yeah, I think it was
great sign for him.
Nuked. Yeah, I mean, just getting Royce Lewis back in that lineup when they get Matt Wallner back, introduce a little more protection. When the weather turns, never Twins until the Twins. When the weather turns, then we could start talking, kind of deal.
Yeah, they're gonna look good.
Okay, I like Doyle as a one-off. I like Soler as a one-off. I like Ward as a one-off. If you want to keep scrolling, it's probably not necessary.
Don't do Soler?
Yeah, you like Soler or Ward?
Soler if we're shooting the moon.
All right. Soler Power there. Nez has shared with us the secret sauce. The secret sauce. Taylor Ward for the home run, Logan O'Hoppe, and Chase Dollander something. I got to put in some money to find out what happens here.
I guess $11.
15, 16 gets us 1,578, whatever. 16 USD. Chase Dollander slide on the K's at home, which is probably the scariest portion of this equation here. And then Taylor Ward and Logan O'Hoppe, absolute L-word nukes coming into the Rocks in left field there, left center field.
Chase has been getting K's at home, man. It's been a pretty good slide for me. Anytime Chase is on the mound, I slide him.
Respect it. Definitely good strikeout stuff. Always scary in Coors, especially when they're going to run out a bunch of lefties. But there's some strikeouts in that lineup. Javi Baez has been going really nice the last 4 or 5 games. 3 home runs in his last 4 or whatever, but he's liable to be worth 3 Ks on his own. So, If
Javi Baez is going to play this type of baseball for like the rest of the season, which he's not, but if he is, then the World Series is just give it to Detroit. I mean,
what's one thing that the Cubs get zero credit for, and you're never going to give it to them, and none of these talking heads will ever give it to them because the NL Central and your allegiances and such. But dude, not re-signing Chris Bryant, Chapman, Rizzo, and Javi Baez after winning a title and then being better off for it. Holy fuck. Like just peak managerial expert, man. Like nobody gives them credit for that. Everyone just shit down their legs when they were like, "Oh my god, they're not going to re-sign these guys. They won you a championship, blah blah blah." And then it's just aged so well for them. And now all of a sudden they got, Kyle Tucker, and they got this next crop of, they went out and got Dansby Swanson instead of Javi Baez, like that sort of stuff. It's just aged so well for them.
Yeah, I mean, they just let the Tigers have improved, but like the Tigers giving the Javi Baez contract was nuts. And then the Rockies giving the Chris Bryant contract was insane. But that was after he went to the Giants, regardless. Hilarious deals.
Yeah. Yeah. PCA for Javi.
Yeah, that haunts me.
Yeah. This one's actually a good point, though, that everyone that decided not to re-sign Schwarber looks pretty brutal. Like, that's true, too. So you got to giveth and taketh.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I hate to play devil's advocate for the Cubs, but was the DH even in the NL when it was time for him to resign?
That's a really good point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
But you should have seen that coming if you're an MLB franchise. You gotta see the writing on the wall.
That's why you got to get Trey Sweeney on the roster. Just that's actually a really good point because he was a catcher that then pivoted to a really bad outfielder, and then
really bad.
Yeah. Okay, Nez, let's throw our puck guys a bone here with dusting off the model. I have a couple puck notes for the good people, and we'll end the show with one puck draft here. My notes for the people. Robertson at morning skate, 0 projection. Might be playing on the third line with Wyatt Johnson there. Mark.
I was gonna say Scheifele. What's up with him?
Yeah, he was skating with no gear on. Sounds like he's trending towards playing this evening as well there. So mixing in a little Mark Scheifele with the Q tag makes a little sense. And potentially a power play defenseman who's going completely undrafted right now in Aaron Ekblad. He's coming back from the suspension this evening there, Nez. So there's a little puck nuggets there. It's going to be Joseph Wall in net for Toronto this evening. Stolar with the concussion and going to be missing a little bit here. So yeah, there's your breakdown. We got one that's game 2 this evening, and we got one that's game 1. Winnipeg and Dallas both went to game 7 with those epic wins and now face off against one another for game 1 of their series this evening.
You can pretty much punt goalie in these, right?
Yes and no. It's a little bit harder on the 2-game slates because you don't want to stack against yourself.
Yeah. It's like, obviously like SP with maybe even worse than stacking SP against your bats in baseball because you have a chance to score runs against a reliever.
Nez, does the model like Kyle Connor this evening?
It's favoring Marner, but Kyle Connor seems to be the crowd favorite, so we can override the model here.
All right, sounds good to me. Go ahead, put Kyle Connor in there. This is gonna be a good goaltending series in theory with Helly and Ottinger there. Speaking of which, some Toronto go off to Respooked there to put a line together. Do you want to play a little bit of game environment and scroll down to Mikko Rantanen, who's a little bit buried here, or is there someone else you like?
What about Nikolai for the stack?
Ehlers? No.
Yeah.
No. The model, I got to override the model on that one. The model, we got to override the model there. I don't even know.
A huge boost to Ehlers.
Was it? So it was going for the correlation.
Yeah, what's wrong with Ehlers?
Boost there. He's fine, but they're probably not even going to play together. He's going to play with Perfetti and stuff on the second line if Scheifele's in there today, because I think it'll be Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde will play together. TA telling me I gotta trust the model.
The model says, "Who cares, man?"
Edgar's saying Helly's washed.
Yeah, is that good? Is that good if your goalie sucks? Is that good for same team wings and centers? Oh shit! Sorry, I gotta run. I have
okay.
Brian needs my help with Mello. I'm sorry. Can you do this without the model?
I'm not sure I can make it through without the model, but we will try our very best.
Verhaeghe or no? You're gonna keep.
I think we got to take Wall here because we don't want Helly now that we took Mikko.
All right. Get a Kachuk in. Oh, no, you can't go Kachuk. Good luck. You're screwed.
I'm screwed. All right, later, Nez. Let's see how we land this plane here. These are the intricacies of what's going on. Mr. Goodboy thinks he knows what time it is, but we got to finish up some puck stuff for the people here. I think Wool's probably my least favorite goalie of the bunch. I didn't think he looked particularly good in game one. No, nor did I think Bobrovsky. But Wool came off the bench, which is very tough to do, especially in the postseason. There. Okay, what can we do with? Let's say Thomas Harley. Let's throw our guy in the chat, Eggers, a bone here. Do a little Dallas stacking with Mikko there. I saw a tweet this morning from Daily Faceoff suggesting that they were still going to ride with Thomas Harley on Unit 1 there, and the most likely change was Matt Duchene was going to go from PP1 to PP2, and Robertson was going to play on PP1. So, yeah. Is it confirmed Miro's back? I don't think Miro's back. I thought Miro was the one that, Miro's out. Yeah, he's been ruled out for game one. Don't you do this to me. Don't you do this to me, GA. I've been paying attention, man. Yeah. I've been paying attention out here, man. Can't catch me slipping. All right. So we got one Winnipeg piece. We could go ahead and go the Scheifele Q tag route here. Respooked can't take anyone from us. We could do Velarde and not play the Q tag game and just put Velarde with Connor. Let's do the Scheifele thing and then we can decide. We could go scrolling the F down for Robertson and get some power play correlation. They're not going to play together on the main unit. We could do a one-off from Toronto of a deep scroll variety. I think we got to do one of these two. This makes sense. Let's take Robertson with the Q tag. They're probably not going to play together on. They're not going to play on the same line together, but they could play power play 1 as I'm reading it right now. So Scheifele draws back into the lineup, plays with Connor. Mikko Rantanen, Robertson, and Thomas Harley play on the power play together. And then Joseph Woll is the goalie you need from the other game environment. That was my 4th wraparound Wednesday. Nez is dealing with the baby poop. I am dealing with Mr. Good Boy needing to poop as he keeps coming over here to say he is ready to go to the park and have lunch here. So I'm going to tie a bow on it right there for everybody. Appreciate if you guys hit the like, hit the subscribe, notification bell on your way out the door here, please. And thank you. What is the MLB Pick'em? The MLB Pick'em is right there, my friend. That's the MLB Pick'em. The MLB Pick'em is 2 home runs and a Chase Dollander slide. It is a good old-fashioned 90X there. Some crazy shoot the moon shit. Shout out to Spike here for gifting out 5 memberships today. Shout out to Car Park for gifting out 10 yesterday and gifting and 10 from our guy 85, aka ADD, in the chat there, gifting out 10 yesterday as well. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you. Eggers with the hand on the ice alpha that Robertson was on PP2. So my correlation did not play there. Respook saying Nez is winning the early slate right now. Hopefully that holds for him. I have no idea at what point we're at in that. So we need Nez to take that one down for the sake of the Badge Bros and the community. All right. Best of luck in the hoops. Enjoy the games tonight. Some great hoops games, some great puck games. Really excited for these ones. And then get in there drafting the 7-game MLB slate. Over 150K in prizes up for grabs here. And we got some PGA up there as well. A 40K guaranteed PGA. When extender tomorrow, Evan, extender tomorrow, because we got one more day for the extender. We kind of all effed up yesterday on how to use it. So we got to make sure we get in there tomorrow. We made a paywall one with it yesterday, and then we'll get in tomorrow with the extender that everybody can be on board with. All right, On behalf of the good people at Underdog, on behalf of the good people at Unabated, I am John, and this is everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Good luck tonight.